So we have some breaking news. The US has launched airstrikes after being attacked by Iran. And many people are questioning, is this the start of World War III? We currently have Russia still invading Ukraine. We have Israel and Hamas going at it. And now we have the United States and Iran attacking each other. This is turning into a world war. I will address what's going on, why this is so important, and how this is potentially going to impact you, whether you're in the Middle East, in Europe, or in the United States. So make sure you stay tuned. According to a recent report, 19 U.S. troops have been diagnosed with traumatic brain injury following attacks in Iraq and Syria. In the last report that I read, more than 24 people have been injured. This is why the United States is stepping up. The United States currently has roughly 900 troops on the ground in Syria. And in the past week, we have been attacked 11 different times. There's been 11 times that we've been attacked in Iraq and 3 times in Syria. So a total of 14 times U.S. troops have been attacked. But why would the United States and why would President Biden issue an airstrike? Well, simple. The United States performed an airstrike after it learned that these drones that we were being attacked by are Iranian origin. This is why. It says from CNN, U.S. strikes 2 facilities linked to Iranian-backed militias in Syria following series of attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East. This is intensifying. This is only going to get worse. Now, President Biden has issued warnings before. He's told Iran to be careful, back off. And the reason why he's doing this is actually pretty simple. Iran openly funds Hamas. We know this. The United States has this information. And so being that Iran is openly funding Hamas and their quest against Israel, this is what caused President Biden to come out weeks ago and give this warning, telling Iran to be cautious. However, Iran does not look like they want to be cautious or careful at this time. Let's go ahead and watch this little clip.
Made it clear to the Iranians, be careful.
So there you go. He's just telling them, be careful. That is it. Now here's what we know. Right now there has been multiple warnings from many experts here in the United States and abroad. Well, I want to read you something. This is actually from the Secretary of Defense. Okay? This is from the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. This is a statement that he made. Now I'm not going to read this entire thing, but I'm going to start about here. It says, as a result of these attacks, 1 U.S. citizen contractor died from a cardiac incident while sheltering in place. 21 U.S. personnel suffered from minor injuries, but all have since returned to duty. The president has no higher priority than the safety of U.S. personnel, and he directed today's actions to make clear that the United States will not tolerate such attacks and will defend itself, its personnel, and its interests. It says, the United States does not seek conflict and has no intention nor desire to engage in further hostilities. But these Iranian-backed attacks against U.S. forces are unacceptable and must stop. Iran wants to hide its hand and deny its role in these attacks against our forces. We will not let them. If attacks by Iran's proxies against U.S. forces continue, we will not hesitate to take further necessary measures to protect our people. Okay. This is why some are saying that this is turning into World War III. We cannot deny it any longer. The United States is stepping forward. According to some, the United States is pretty much backpedaling or sleepwalking, according to Elon Musk. Just sleepwalking into another disaster and another crisis. Well, here's what happened last week. Okay, about a week ago. I want to show you this. It says U.S. military shoots down missiles and drones as it faces growing threats in volatile Middle East. Now, what happened was, and I want to show you this, okay? It was from USS Carney. Now, what happened was there were missiles that were shot from Yemen. They were shot north towards Israel, and the USS Carney in the Red Sea actually had to shoot them down. They shot down those missiles. This was one of the things that easily made world headlines, that the U.S. is shooting down missiles that were headed for Israel. Now, what's the next thing that's making headlines is the United States is actually backing Israel. Look at this. It says Biden sends $106 billion aid request to Congress for Israel, Ukraine, and Gaza. That's $106 billion. Now, the majority of that is going to go to Ukraine, but, okay, and I just want to put this out there. There's $61 billion, $61.4 billion is going to go to Ukraine. There's going to be $14.3 billion for Israel, and there's $9.15 billion for humanitarian assistance. And this is because the blockade of the Gaza Strip. Okay? That's something that's extremely important. We have to keep in mind what's actually happening at this time, because it's going to get worse. Okay, I want to read you something. Okay? I want to read you this right here. So this is from our Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. He said he described the strikes, which were ordered by President Joe Biden, as narrowly tailored in self-defense, and emphasized they were separate from the ongoing conflict in Gaza. He directly accused Iran of having a role in the attacks on U.S. forces, saying in the statement, Iran wants to hide its hand and deny its role. Now, these two facilities that were targeted by U.S. airstrikes in eastern Syria had been previously occupied by members of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and affiliated militia groups. That's according to a senior military official. Now, what is going to happen is if we continue to see Iranian-backed, equipment or Iranian drones, okay? If we continue to see this and they are attacking U.S. troops over in the Middle East, the United States will not hesitate. They will take action. We've seen this. We've heard this from the President himself, from the Secretary of Defense, from many experts. We are going to take action. We will step up. With that said, are we closer to World War III? According to many experts, we are now in the beginning stages of World War III. Because what could happen is if we see that now our oil, because again, Iran produces oil. If we see Iran starts to attack the American people, not through missiles, but by not allowing the United States oil, this is going to be an attack on our people. And President Biden will step up, according to reports. We will see what happens in the near future. All I can tell you is be prepared. Be prepared. Make sure you are staying educated. Watch to see what is happening on the news. Because again, this is breaking news that the United States launched airstrikes because of the attacks by Iran. But this could just be the beginning. So, as we get more information, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.